Okay, this is still week 3. This is part 2 because of technical difficulties. We didn't want to have to refilm 30 minutes. We're only going to have to refilm 10 if we're lucky. So we're going to go right back into the next 8 games. Here's Steve Brown.
All right. Packers, Lions. That was me burping. Great game as far as fun to watch. It took the Packers a week and a half to wake up, but when they did, Jordy Nelson was like, these guys can't stop me. I'm going to go for a couple of hundred on these guys. Lions had a great week 1, but I'm chalking that up to simply the Giants being horrible. So the Panthers D clamped down on the Lions and really may have given the Packers a blueprint for how to do it. But I'm going to make a little statement here. I think the Panthers D is significantly better than the Packers D.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think the Packers D is massively overrated based on some names and not on recent production. And I like the Lions in this one.
Wow. The Jets were an illegal timeout away from tying the Packers last week.
How great was that? Marty Morningweg to Sheldon Richardson to the ref. And Rex is like, what? I was looking at the D.
Who negated that touchdown? Anyway, and the Lions limped outside and got beaten up by the Kitties. So the Lions play well at home, and they have a better defense than the Packers. Not by a lot, but I think they have enough to beat the Packers here. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers can't win every game. You get down that many points against a team like Detroit, like they did against the Jets, you're not going to score that many more points. I'm taking the Detroit Lions.
Wow, look at us agreeing.
Yeah.
All right.
Take the Packers.
Colts, based on last week, do whatever we do, the opposite of whatever we say. Costanza the hell out of us. Anyway, Jags at Colts. There are 2 different kinds of 0-2 teams. There are hopeless 0-2 teams, and there are 0-2 teams that have a good chance of rebounding well. I'll let you decide who you think that is in this case. I'm going to get lucky with the Colts.
This is one of the games where you just want to pick the Colts, but something tells you that the Jags have something up their sleeves. Bortles comes in the second half to rally the Jaguars to a 21-20 victory. Oh, excitement in North Florida. Woo-hoo, Blake Bortles.
Not going to happen.
Come on.
Speaking of not going to happen, Raiders at the Pats. Pats at home against a completely punchless Raiders team. A laugher. Give me the Pats.
Derek Carr wishes they named someone else as the starting quarterback. He probably went, oh, no, you could have picked the other guy. After what the Pats did to Minnesota last week on defense, I can only imagine what this week's going to look like. And what's the over-under on how many sacks? I'm putting it at 5.5. I'm taking the Patriots by a lot.
49ers Cards. I'm going to let Stu start out on this one.
Well, Harbaugh's veins were in full display Sunday night as the Bears miraculously beat them at home. I've never seen that guy so red-faced in his life. The Cards aren't that bad and could pose a problem for the Niners if Vernon Davis isn't back. I'm going to take the home team here, and because I think they split the season. It's the NFC West. I think it's the toughest division with those 3 teams and the Lambs. But I think they'll each win a game at home. I think the Cardinals will win here. If Ellington can't get going, the Cards may be in trouble. But I think he looks okay to play. The issue is Carson Palmer back. I'm taking the Cardinals.
All right. I went to sleep thinking the 49ers were 2-0 and woke up to find out that Brandon Marshall could not be stopped.
Why couldn't he catch one pass in Miami?
Could be stopped when he was a Dolphin. Can't be stopped as a Bear.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway, the Cards need Palmer, and they need a stout D to win this one. I think you hit on a crucial factor is if the Cards can establish the run at all, and I don't think they can. So I'm going to go with the 49ers to clean up their act, finish this game off. I'm taking the 49ers.
Okay.
I think if Stu and I disagree on every game, at least we'll get...
One of us is right.
Yeah, at least we'll get some of them right.
We only take the wins at the next week when we say, oh, well, Steve had it right, so we'll go with that.
Exactly.
Broncos Seahawks.
All right. Broncos have to have had this one circled for a long time. Let's just hope the first snap doesn't go into the end zone and end this one.
I hope it does.
Oh man, that was one horrible Super Bowl to watch, especially if you were pulling for the guy with the real long head. Having a fairly long head myself,
not compared to the forehead.
I do pull for Peyton Manning and his 5 head.
They show movies at home on his forehead.
Anyway, I think Seattle's going to be angry. I think Seattle's going to be at home. And I think they're gonna do exactly what they did to the Broncos. I think the Broncos improved on defense. They may keep it a little closer, but I don't see how Seattle loses 2 in a row. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's the Boyds. Peyton Manning plays the role of Tippy Hedren again, with birds all over his head, and he's running down the street. I don't think it's a blowout like it was in the Super Bowl, but I don't see Peyton Manning being able to solve this defense in Seattle. Couldn't do it on a neutral field. I don't think he's going to do it at home. Seahawks.
There you go. Well, it's Chiefs-Dolphins, and he's wearing a Dolphins jersey, so let's let Stu, who actually knows something about the team, talk.
Well, if it were Christmas Day 1972, I'd be very happy. But it's 2014. It was the greatest, longest. Were you there?
I was around in 70. I was 6, so I was probably watching it, but I don't remember.
I was watching it on TV. The Dolphins looked as bad as a team could possibly look last week, while the Chiefs gave the Broncos a really good run in Denver. The problem here, to me, is the Chiefs were on the West Coast. Now they got to fly all the way to the East Coast in a 7-day period. I think that goes against any team at some point. I'm going to call it the Chiefs if Jamal Charles plays, but if I'll call it the Dolphins if Jamal Charles doesn't play.
I'm going to actually completely disagree with that for one reason. I think Davis actually gives them. I love Jamal Charles. Jamal Charles won me a fantasy league. Jamal Charles does all the things a good running back should do. I'm not disparaging Jamal Charles at all, but in this battle of teams with hurt running backs, no Sean's hurt. Jamal Charles is hurt. Lamar Miller may also be hurt. I think Davis gives the Chiefs a very viable power back option and a very different look than Jamal Charles gives the Chiefs. And I think he can be very effective against the Dolphins. So given that, and given that I believe Alex Smith will be put into a lot of third and short situations, which he handles well, given that I think Alex Smith will have a fairly clean pocket, which is when he's at his best, he's certainly not a guy that handles pressure well. Mm-hmm. But I believe the Chiefs will give him a clean pocket, and I believe the Chiefs are going to win this game. Sorry, Stu. I think they saved their season.
Don't feel sorry for me. We've sucked for 25 years.
Oh, God, talk to me. We've never won a Super Bowl.
You've been there 4 times.
You would think you would stumble into one by mistake. Yeah. Jesus, we were in 4. Couldn't somebody have, fumbled? Couldn't the ball have bounced our way once?
And I rooted for you all but one. So
well, that explains why we lost.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyway.
Steelers-Panthers.
I'm going to do this one. I think the Steelers are on the way down badly this year, and I think it's only going to get worse as the season progresses because they're old, they're slow. I expect Ben Roethlisberger to go down at some point. Panthers D looks for real. They've given up 21 points so far this year. Cam Newton's health is a question. He did not look fully Cam Newton-like last week. I think the ribs are still bothering him, but I think his health is getting better. I think they've been surprising on offense considering that they have nobody to catch passes.
Yeah.
I like what the Panthers are doing, and I'm going to go with them here easily.
You've touched on everything that I had written down, so I'm going to say, Panthers too. I think their defense is better than Pittsburgh offense, and I'm going with the home team here, basically.
All right, let's Stu finish it out.
All right, so Bears at the Jets, and well, this game is interesting, isn't it? One team was up a shitload of points, and the other team was down a shitload of points, and both teams went the other way. I'm sorry, I had to swear here. When I looked at this game, I'm like, oh my God, it's a tale of two halves here. The Bears are going to find it tough, though, to go from coast to coast. You know, you play Monday night on the West Coast, and then you're playing, Sunday night on the West Coast, and then the next Monday on the East Coast. I take that into account. That's a lot of traveling. You don't get into your normal routine. And I just don't like Jay Cutler. I don't care. Brandon Marshall, the first touchdown in the first half should have been an interception, quite honestly, but because Brandon Marshall's got sticky glue on his hands, he scored the touchdown. And believe me, I was rooting for the Bears. I'm not a 49ers fan. I think this is a close one. I'm going to give it to the Jets just because they're home on a Monday night, and it's going to be loud, and they're going to be spelling words.
You do actually put a lot more into the thought of the travel and stuff. I look home field advantage, yes, but I don't pay that much attention to West Coast, East Coast. Maybe I should.
It's 2 games on the road. I mean, And it's 6,000 miles when you're all done.
It's a valid point, and I think the statistics and the percentages probably prove you right. It's
I
just
have no idea. I do no homework.
on a game to game basis, I can't do that. I look at the two teams, I look at what they've done the last couple of weeks, and I say to myself, okay, the Jets barely beat the Raiders, and they put up a stinker in the second half against the Packers. They couldn't stop Jordy Nelson. If you can't stop Jordy Nelson, I don't see how you stop the Bears receivers.
Well, Alshon Jeffrey's not playing up to 100%. If you can key on Marshall, well, Martellus Bennett's pretty good. I'm changing my pick. Take the Bears.
Take the Bears. I mean, I missed the first half of the Jets game because of my kid's soccer game. Maybe I missed all the impressiveness.
It wasn't impressive.
I just don't believe in Geno Smith. I think the defense is slightly overrated. I don't think they're going to get pressure on Cutler, and I think he will be able to pick them apart. And I think the Jets' secondary is a huge weakness for them, and it plays right into the arm strength of Jay Cutler. I think you couldn't ask for a better matchup for a guy with Cutler's approach and ability than a weakened Jets secondary and good receiving options that he has. Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with the Jets.
Flip-flopping.
I am.
All right,
it's
folks.
The Bears and the Jets. I mean, it's not even a game that I care about.
Electric Football, Week 3, Part 2.
Edited for your pleasure.
We hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Steve Brown. He's Stu Pace. And I hope we do better than last week. Please comment. We got some new subscribers. Tell us who your team is.
Thanks for the hits. We had like over 250, which was cool.
Tell us when you started liking football. I started at about 5, Stu.
6 or 7 years old. It was 1967 or 8. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, talk to us is what we're saying.
All right. Have a good week. May the force be with you and enjoy the games. The hell?